Well, it's really looking like springtime now, and my trees out front are exhibiting their beauty. Today it's tulip time all week in Holland, Michigan, and we're gonna have tourists coming in from all over the place. I usually stay home, try to stay out of all the crowds, but hey, that's not why you've come to hear about tulip time or look at my trees. We're going to pick up where we left off with, now where were we? Oh yeah, that's right, to be continued. Yeah, but before we get to that, just a little bit of information about where we're going today. I haven't got a chance to really get into the educational side of the jumping spider, this Phidippus audax, and the importance of its sight, the importance of its mechanical ability to jump, and how that's affected, obviously, my jumping spider, Judy. So today we're going to delve into that educational side. Hope you enjoy it. I think you'll learn some things you didn't know about this spider. So, let's see. Where were we?
Well, Judy, are you hungry? Got a fly there for you. Nice juicy one. Don't play with your food, just grab it and eat it. Oh, don't turn your back on your meal.
She has managed to nab herself her fly and a meal. So that's a good thing. Didn't capture it on film, but this is a dried out, drained of its juices carcass of what once was a fly. Once again, Judy comes through and gets herself a meal. Gotta love it. So as you had seen, Judy did get her fly. And since the last video that came out, she's had 4 more flies as well. So the girl has learned well how to catch a fly even in her blindness. To me, that's just remarkable. These spiders can learn, and they can adapt, as Judy has. This is my alma mater, Hope College. Graduated here in 1972. I'm going to have to come back for the Salvador Dali exhibition. Back in those days, I was an art major, and I also had a almost major in psychology as well. So yeah, the arts mean a lot to me, and I'm going to be using some of my artistic abilities in dealing with the Phidippus audax. Well, I'm back home now, and I thought I would do a little artistic drawing for you today regarding this Phidippus audax jumping spider. So without further ado, well, there is a little further ado, I think that's got to go. All right, let's go to the drawing boards so we can take a look at the Phidippus audax, hand drawn by me. Judy, girl, what are you doing on my drawing? How'd you get there? I know, you jumped, right? Yeah, that'd be like you. All right, I'll take you back to your habitat. Hey, binoculars, yeah. I'm out here watching, the birds are hatching their youngsters, and it's fun to watch them with the binoculars. So, I just want to say something, because when I was using my binoculars today, I happened to think about, we're going to talk about 3 key areas of this Phidippus audax jumping spider. And when I say key areas, I mean the first area is their sight. What an amazing spider with amazing abilities when it comes to the eyes. And humans have binocular vision. That's why we call these binoculars, okay? There's 2 different viewpoints. And just like human beings, we have 2 eyes close together, but each one has its own vision of the left side or right side, and they come together and are focused on the back of a retina, which translates into one image. But it's called binocular, 2 different eyes, 2 different lenses looking at something. And the Phidippus audax also has binocular vision, but that's only 2 of its other 6 eyes. And we're going to talk about today, we're only going to deal with vision today of the Phidippus audax because it's so complex. I'm going to save the other 2 areas for the next 2 videos. So number 1, the vision. Awesome vision. Since we as human beings know something about our own eyes, I thought I'd start there, and we're going to do some comparison study between the human eye and the Phidippus audax eyes. We have 2, they have 8. And just make some comparisons I think you might find very interesting. But before I do that, I just want to share with you an article I came upon. It comes out of Science News, and the author for this is Betsy Mason. Betsy Mason wrote this article October 25th, 2021. I'll post it in the description of my video because it's worth reading the whole document if you want to go deeper than what we'll be able to cover in this video. Anyway, here's what I wanted to open with from this document. And the title of her work is Jumping Spiders' Remarkable Senses capture a world beyond our perception. So I'm just going to read the first paragraph of her opening of her article. Imagine that the world is shades of gray and a little blurry, almost as if your lousy peripheral vision has taken over. This fuzzy field of view extends so far that you can make out dim shapes and motion behind you as well. But no need to turn your head. The one bright spot is an X-shaped splash of color that moves with your gaze. At the center of this splash, everything is crisp and clear. A small window of sharp, colorful detail in a gauzy grayscape. And some blades of grass the size of redwood trees, and you've got a inkling of what the world looks like through the 8 eyes of a jumping spider. It might be a bit like watching a poorly focused black and white movie on a 3D IMAX screen that wraps around the room. And while you hold a spotlight shining high definition color wherever you point it. In other words, it's really, really strange, at least compared with our two-eyed human perspective. You might recall in previous episodes of Jumpin' Judy, I did a little segment on the eyes of the Phidippus audax jumping spider, and I talked about how the two big black eyes, the median eyes, that's the binocular vision of this spider, its primary sight, those eyes are built in. Those black eyes are built into the skeletal structure of the head. So those are not the eyes, they're big lenses. But behind those, there's another lens that moves. Remember I showed you how it moves around inside there? It can look at different things that of interest. So where our retinas are fixed in the back of the eye, and we can look left or right, or we can move our eyeball around to see what we want to see in a certain amount of visual dimension, if you will. The jumping spider, those lenses we see, the big two eyes, those are just fixed. But behind those are the moving lens that can look wherever it wants to inside of that protective eyepiece. And then in the back of their lens, they have the ability to move it back and forth. You kind of remember that? I showed you how a lens can move back and forth within like a tube. And then at the very tail end, where it gets narrower, it even has some muscles that are able to do some other things in helping it focus on depth. And we'll talk about that today in a little more detail. So I just wanted to say that the differences between their eyes and our eyes, we talked about some of the similarities we see in color, they see in color as well. However, they also see into colors that we don't see very well. They see into the ultraviolet realms of purples and some of the dark blues. When you look straight ahead, you see what's focused in a very narrow spot, and that's what you're looking at. Your peripheral vision, what's out here, that's kind of blurry. But if you see something that you want to look at, you just turn your eyeball and look at it, and then your vision focuses on that. And there's special muscles in our eye that can focus long or short distances, depending on what we're trying to focus our eye on. The spider works very similar, but it doesn't use one eye to do that. It uses all 8 of its eyes, if you will. At least the middle eyes are what's looking at it, what's clear focus for it, sharp focus. It's what they call like a boomerang. It's a little slot that's perfectly perfectly clear and crisp, and the colors are brilliant. But on either side, where our eyes is peripheral vision, they have those two side eyes. The two in the middle, and then the two on either side of the two big eyes, the smaller eyes. Those look at things in a little bit broader spectrum, and they're watching what's in the peripheral vision. Now, when all that's relayed to the brain, what appears in that peripheral vision, let's say like a silhouette of a cricket is out there. Well, that's prey to this jumping spider. So that's picked up by the brain, and immediately the eye, the two main eyes, will focus on that because that's a prey. Might be interesting to go after and eat. So the peripheral vision catches it for the spider, and then the main eyes take over and focus on it. And you can tell when that's happening because apparently this boomerang-shaped slit just jiggles all over the place when it's trying to focus on what's in the peripheral that the peripheral eyes have given it some attention to. Let's say an ellipse, dark object, okay? And they put that in front of the spider. If it just sits there, does nothing, the peripheral vision that picks that up, the brain says, oh, it's no big deal, don't focus on it. So it stays focused on whatever it's watching for its two main primary eyes. But if that dark elliptical object starts getting bigger and bigger, which would indicate it's coming towards the spider, and that's picked up by the peripheral vision, it's put to the brain says, potential predator, be on guard. And immediately the eyes will go to it now and check it out. Is it a predator or not? So that gives you a little idea how the forefront eyes work. And then you couple that with two eyes that are near the top of the head, kind of top center, and then you got some that look out the back side of the spider's head. Now, a parent would love that. Wow, to be able to see 360 degrees and keep their eyes on their kids at all times, that'd be great. That spider does that. So that's some differences in how the spider's eye works and how our eye works. It has some advantages over us. So not only does it have a broader peripheral vision to decide what to focus on with our primary eye, but it also looks into the ultraviolet realm of color, which we can't see. So that in itself is pretty cool. It's been said that I think our eyes are only, I believe it's 5 to 10 times better than the jumping spider's eyes. Wow. That's pretty Now, cool. I went in the house and brought Judy out so you can get a look at her. She wants to come out and enjoy a little bit of the sunshine today. So she loves coming out in sunshine. So here's the girl. Of course, remember, she's blind. She can't really see much of anything anymore. But yeah, there's Judy. And she's giving me a look here. I think she might recognize the vibration of my voice. Can't prove that at all, but she does spend time looking at me, so she sees something big, and I don't know if she's connected the vibration of my voice to, hey, yeah, that guy's safe, and don't know if that's how it works or not, but see if we can get her to look at you in the camera with her chelicera all shiny nice and green. What do you think, Judy? You enjoying the sunshine? I know you are. So all that instinct is still in there, And I don't know, if you watch her for a little bit, you'll see that she'll still rub her tip of her abdomen where her spinnerets are, trying to lay down a lifeline before she jumps. And there's no webbing anymore that she's able to make. I thought maybe it was a protein thing, but she's been eating flies, so it may just be an old age thing. Just doesn't work anymore in the old body to make the webbing she'd like.